It's the biggest meme at this point. It really is. It's not even, like, funny. It's not funny at all. It's just, oh man, it happened, and I know I'm the guy who makes so many videos talking about how bad it makes me feel, but darn it, we have more fodder for it here today. So I don't normally like to make 2 videos on the same team, especially if they're just random discussion-based commentaries like these that go up at 10 a.m. PST and 12 p.m. PST, but my goodness, this one involves Vancouver, so why the heck not? Today we're talking about Tyler Toffoli because, man, every time this guy does something, every time, the entire fan base here in Vancouver just kind of looks on. Sometimes they cringe, other times they're like, they start clapping, they give it up, oh, good job, really happy for him. I'm super happy for Tyler Toffoli too. I'm really, really happy to see how he has been carrying the Canadiens. In fact, that's not even right. He's not carrying anybody. He is one very strategically placed cog in the well-oiled behemoth of a machine that is the Montreal Canadiens. And he's been the guy that's pulled the trigger on a few really big goals, game winners, short-handed markers, overtime goals. Toffoli has done it. And in fact, it's gotten to a point now where if you take a look at how exactly he has been performing in a Montreal Canadiens sweater, he's a point per game in the playoffs. He's got 10 points, 11 games played, 44 in 52 in the regular season. Take a look at the total number of points this guy has produced. 63 games played, 54 points, and 32 goals too. Oh my, he is crazy, crazy, crazy good. In fact, you go over the entire Montreal Canadiens and their point producers here in the playoffs. Tyler Toffoli, while he is top of the list with 10 and 11 games, you have a whole bunch of other guys here showing off how deep this Canadiens core is. Eric freaking Stahl is just under a point per game. Like, I didn't notice that until I looked at this right here. But Tyler Toffoli is just the figurehead of what is a super deep team. And it's so deep that it's like, it's not even Tyler Toffoli's team, This is everybody's team. This is Carey Price, if you had to label out one person to being the MVP who has this team in his palms. But it always goes back to Toffoli, doesn't it? I said how Vancouver fans love to share their own misery when seeing how good Toffoli is because the Vancouver Canucks could have used somebody like that on their team. It's gotten to a point now where Montreal fans are legitimately posting, oh, thank you so much, Jim Benning, for sending us to the 3rd round, because without you not offering Toffoli whatever kind of contract, he went to us instead. And you know what? Because it's such a big deal now, everybody's on board with it. Not even just the Canucks fan base, it's the Habs fan base as well that's jumping on board. Let's go over what Antoine Roussel said on yesterday's edition of JIC. Yeah, we're going over Roussel again because he's always brought onto this show. It's in Quebec, they speak French, and because Roussel is from France, obviously, he's got himself an ability to be a valuable speaker on this program. But the TVA Sports article here reads, Tyler Toffoli continues to hurt Roussel. Oh man, I translated that from French to English. If you want to look at the original one, let's try that right here. The original says, Toffoli continue de faire souffrir Roussel. And you take a look at the rest of the sentences here. Antoine Roussel continue de souffrir en voyant son chien coéquipier Tyler Toffoli. I'm not going to try to continue that. My French sucks. Translate it back to English, it says this. Antoine Roussel continues to suffer when he sees his former teammate Tyler Toffoli succeed with a team other than the Canucks. Dude, it's not even just Vancouver. It's Roussel too. Ah, man. Let's read. Jean-Charles Lajoie has reopened his wounds by reminding him of the successes of the Maverick since his arrival in Montreal on Tuesday during the JIC show. On Monday night, Toffoli also played the Heroes in overtime to finish off the Winnipeg Jets. This is what Roussel says. Tyler Toffoli scored 28 goals during the regular season. It hurts. Ah, that hurts. And to see him perform the same in the playoffs too, I'm super happy for him, but I still come back to saying that if we had kept him, I think we could have been a playoff team. I think we could have created surprises, because I think that we had a team built a bit like the Habs, to perform well in the playoffs. And you know what? I'm going to stop you right there, Antoine Roussel. The Vancouver Canucks were the worst team in the North this year, and they really didn't have fate on their side when it came to giving them any favors. The entire pandemic and the infections that went on with this team, plus the injuries to key guys like Elias Pettersson and whatnot, it really wasn't great. I don't know if you add a 28-goal guy, all of a sudden this Vancouver squad that looked like a farm team by the end of the year makes the playoffs. I don't know, man. This year was kind of a write-off for Vancouver, no matter who you add, even if it's like Connor McDavid. I question the impact this Canucks team could have had in regards to making the playoffs. I mean, I guess if you have Toffoli on Vancouver instead of Montreal, you don't have Toffoli lighting up Vancouver in those games against Montreal. Therefore, you might be able to argue a few extra wins go the Canucks' way, and a few less go for the Canadiens, and maybe by that virtue they make the playoffs. Who really knows? It's all hypotheticals in the abstract, as they say. But Antoine Roussel's absolutely right, man. Even though we're super happy for him here in Vancouver, it's so painful. Because Jim Benning, man, he didn't even give him an offer. Like, I saw this meme on our Canucks the other day. He says, oh, the decision I made was calculated, but man, am I bad at math. Yeah, he made a mistake, and I think it's good that Jim Benning has acknowledged that he has made a mistake, not in the form of this meme, of course, but in previous comments that he made. But boy, does it still hurt. Antoine Roussel then finishes off his thoughts by saying that Pacioretty and Tyler Toffoli are two different shooters. The difference between the two is that Toffoli is able to create offense on his own. He doesn't need another player like Pacioretty needed David Desharnais to give him incredible passes. Okay, that's a lot of praise for David Desharnais, eh? Interesting how the implications arise from that, Antoine Roussel. But going back to the Toffoli thing, a lot of people were kind of bringing up the idea of Toffoli and his overall impact. Because in Vancouver, he had 4 points in 7 games played, but like almost all of those points came in one game against Vegas, where he came back from injury and all that. And I saw some people concerned, oh, why is Toffoli doing so well with Montreal when in Vancouver he only had one good game and that was it? And you gotta remember, man, Tyler Toffoli was coming off of an injury in those playoffs. It's why he didn't play all the games. If I recall correctly, I think he was taken out after Game 1 against Minnesota, that travesty of a game the Canucks had. Not only has he been healthy for Montreal, but it's not even like Tyler Toffoli is the best player on Montreal. We said this several times, but man, he's just one part of this machine. Not everybody on Montreal is a superstar, but all of these players are getting superstar-like moments. Erik Gustafsson, beautiful goal at the point to give the Canadiens the lead. Arturi Lehkonen, goals in back-to-back games after filling in for Jake Evans. Romanov stepping in big after Petrie gets taken out. Carey Price, of course. Carey Price is Carey Price. Suzuki, the power play goals. Kotkaniemi, the overtime winners. Josh Anderson only has one goal, but boy, was that goal important. The very first goal that started everything in Game 1 against Toronto. Cole Caulfield has 2 points in overtime. And, you know, that's good. Really, really good. Not to mention Corey Perry being absolute clutch in the way that he is, and Eric Stahl actually getting points now, too. This team does not have a superstar of the magnitude of a McDavid or a Matthews or whatever, but boy, this team is a team. And all the players on this team are getting their chances to shine. Tyler Toffoli is just the most recent one because he got that overtime winner. So I do think it's kind of unfair to say, oh, why didn't we get this Tyler Toffoli with our Vancouver Canucks against Vegas? Well, because he was coming off of an injury. And he did have one good game, right? 3 points, I believe it was. Game 2 against Vegas or whatever. When he came back, I forgot. Oh, man. Antoine Roussel says it best, man. It hurts. It really does hurt, but at the very least, I'm a Habs fan secondly to my Vancouver Canucks, so it's a lot easier to digest and cheer. I mean, even if I was only a fan of the Vancouver Canucks, I think it's always been pretty easy to take a look at former Canucks that are having success and being like, yeah, go ahead and do that, like Luke Schenn last year. That guy won a cup after declining to return to Vancouver. He wanted to go to Tampa because he wanted to win a cup, and he did that. Beauty, what an absolute beauty, good for him. But, I mean, Toffoli, man, same thing. Same thing. So talk to me in the comments what you thought about this video. I know I was kind of rambly here, but that's kind of what this channel is. It's water cooler talk, isn't it? Hope you enjoyed this. Was Josh Rolls and I9. And bye.